Hey guys, my name is Glenn. I got my real estate license in 1998 and I've been doing commercial real estate ever since. And today we're going to talk about buying a building. We'll do a lot of videos on this, so this is just the first one, so I'm going to keep it very high level and generic, but so you get an idea. So I have a client now that wants to buy a building anywhere from 100,000 to 300,000 square feet. Now that sounds great. Obviously, most people are in the smaller range when they want to buy a building, 5, 10, or 20,000 square feet, and there's very little inventory available because everybody wants to buy a building in that size range, so supply and demand, and there are less buildings available. So you would think from 100 to 300,000, now this isn't an office building, it's a warehouse building, so somewhere in that price range, you should be able to find a good building, and we're looking in a huge area, probably 30, 40 miles. They have several different businesses and really can be all over the state of New Jersey. So I've been doing real estate in the state of New Jersey since 1998 when I got my license, so I know basically every facet of the state. So we did a preliminary search about 6 weeks ago, and we found about 20 buildings that meet the criteria. So remember, for a warehouse building, there may be criteria for loading docks, ceiling heights. That's critical. If you have racking and you may need 20-foot ceilings or 30-foot ceilings, you don't want to have a building that has 12-foot ceilings. And typically, a lot of the higher, more efficient buildings that have 40-foot ceilings or lots of loading docks usually are worth more money because they're more desirable buildings. So we found about 20 buildings that met his criteria. He wasn't in a rush, and we're serious about buying a building. We could go to contract and put a deposit on a building today if we find the right one, and we are down to 4 buildings. And the reason for that is industrial is very hot right now in New Jersey because we have the ports and everything here, and industrial buildings are leasing like hotcakes. Years ago, a 100,000 square foot industrial deal was, a regular deal. And now that would even be considered a small deal, where a lot of people are looking for 300, 400,000 square feet. So just because you had some buildings in mind a couple of months ago, and that sounds like a typical real estate broker saying, buy now or put a deposit down because it won't be available later. But I mean, what's going to happen is those buildings are going to be sold, certainly if they're a good building. Now, there's a lot of junk on the market. That's why you need someone experienced, whether it's me or somebody else. You want somebody with 20 years experience who's done this a long time and can really vet out the buildings for you, because we're familiar with the buildings, we're familiar with the owners, we're familiar with the agents listing those buildings, and can tell you this is a good building, that's not a good building. So we really know the marketplace. So unfortunately, if we struck while the iron was hot, we would have had 20 choices, and I'm sure not all of them would have checked out, but 20 buildings that I was familiar with that would work. And now we're down to 4, and I think another one's going on the contract, so maybe 3. Now there's no guarantee those other 3 won't be gone before we can get out there. So if you're ready to buy a building, you really, really, really need to act quickly. I don't want to sound like I'm brokering you, but there's really a sense of urgency, especially in today's market. Now, of course, that could change. And in a market like this, you got to be real careful. You need an experienced broker, like, again, whether it's me or somebody else, just because you need somebody to help you know which are the good buildings, which buildings are not overpriced. Basically, when a market's hot like this, all the junk buildings that could never sell before are on the market. So they'll have a competitive price, and then there'll be some buildings that, say it's worth $5 million, a particular building. Somebody would say, well, I'll sell if I can get 10. And of course, some broker will want a listing, and they'll lease it at 9.9 or $10 million. And that won't sell for a million years, that building. But, somebody's looking to cash out. I'm only going to buy if I can get this. So you want to weed out those buildings too, and that's where experience comes in. So again, if you guys are interested in buying a building, I would gladly do a free conference call with you. You can email me at glennrealestateexpert@gmail.com, glennrealestateexpert@gmail.com, and I'd be more than happy to have a conference call with you. So that's our video number 1 about buying a commercial building, whether it's office, flex, industrial, retail. And hope you enjoyed it. If you like what you see on this channel, remember to hit the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and share with any of your friends who are thinking of buying a building. Thanks again for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time. Take care.